You know who's more invisible than Meghan's relatability? Her season 2 on Netflix Top 10. That's right, our Duchess of Discounts dropped a brand new season of With Love Meghan, and the top 10 chart says, who? Not in the US top 10, not in the UK top 10, just vanished. And when the charts are silenced, the critics come in swinging with knives. And we have seen this, which is now becoming very clear why Netflix quietly downgraded her contract. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Star Chairs, and in this channel, we analyze videos and articles through the lens of PR. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick tour of the reviews because they are brutal. We're just going to read the headlines because they're hilarious, shall we? All right, here's some reviews. The Mirror says Meghan Markle in danger of being dropped by Netflix as second series not doing well. You don't say. And then I went ahead and I Googled season 2 reviews. With Love Meghan says The Hollywood Reporter sticks to original recipe in season 2, unfortunately. The Daily Mail says second series With Love Meghan proves a turnoff for Netflix viewers as it fails to dent the top 10 in the UK or the US. Page 6 says Meghan Markle's tone-deaf second season of With Love Meghan eviscerated by UK critics. So painful. And then I left the last one because it is my personal favorite, and it is from the New York Post. Meghan Markle, a woman in need of some cash. I mean, they didn't even sugarcoat it. They just handed her a receipt with a bowl on it. Oh my goodness. Let's see this one really quick. So the New York Post starts by saying the second season of Meghan Markle's Netflix show With Love Meghan is just as brutal to watch as season 1, according to critics. If we scroll a little bit lower, it says, but just hours after hitting the streamer, the series was mercilessly mocked by several critics who slammed the show as tone-deaf and self-indulgent. Yeah, that's exactly what we've been saying. In its 2-star review of the second season, The Telegraph labeled Markle's latest episodes as needy and said they were only marginally less mad than the first season. Oh my goodness, The Telegraph. And then I love this right here where it says the closing credits play out to the lyrics, "Don't let it be the last time. Please let it be the last time," the review concludes. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Elsewhere, the Times of London said that the latest installment of Markle's show is a series in search of a meaning, fronted by a woman in need of some cash. And she continues, 7 more episodes to go. Save yourselves. Don't do it. I sinned in my past life, so I'll get back to you, writes the Times of London's Hilary Rose, who urges readers to start therapy now. Or you could just do what we did, not watch it, period. All right, guys, enough of the reviews. We get it. They're terrible. And you know what's funnier than the headlines is that Meghan sat down with Bloomberg and said with a straight face, mind you, if you know your audience, then you know your demographics.
And so if you know your audience, you know your demographic, well, they love the show. And my partners love the show. And that's why we have a season 2 and why we have more fun coming.
Okay, Meghan. So who exactly are they? Because the numbers say your demographics weren't in the US or the UK, the 2 biggest speaking markets for Netflix. And if they did show up, they didn't stick around long enough to move the needle. And in PR, when you claim that you know your audience, you should be able to define them in one sentence, like busy millennial moms who love a quick hack and hate gatekeeping. Boom, clear, marketable, easy to target, done. But Meghan said nothing. She doesn't name anything. She doesn't say what age bracket, no interest, no pain points, absolutely nothing. Just airy words like love, community, connection. And that's not an audience profile whatsoever. She continues to talk to us in vision board answers, which is very frustrating, very much. Because the irony, if she didn't know her audience, she'd also know her critics, because half of the reason people even watch her stuff is out of curiosity or doom scrolling, not loyalty. And that doesn't translate into sustainable numbers. So while she's out here giving business school sound bites about knowing your demographic, the market is telling a different story. Netflix top 10 is blank. The reviews are brutal, and her products are gathering dust. That's not audience love. That just means her Markle effect is gone, and the audience is dwindling down. And speaking of knowing your demographics, let me tell you just a little story of how I know that her audience is dwindling down is because recently I got attacked by the Sussex Squad. Yeah, a 50-plus-year-old man, because that's the muscle of her fan base apparently, used a clip from my YouTube video, and oh gosh, the squad came in charging. Except, let's look at the math because the last time I looked at his video, he got around 500 views on Instagram. Out of those 500 views or plus views, about 10, yes, 10-ish Sussex Squad warriors slid into my Instagram DMs over the course of a couple of days. So if that is Meghan's demographic, then 10 people with too much time and too little sense, no wonder her wine isn't selling out. She already milked those same 10 bank accounts dry. They can only buy so many $90 rosé 3-packs before their credit card gets declined. That, of course, is my opinion. Because imagine thinking you've got an army, when in reality, it's just a neighborhood book club with poor Wi-Fi or stealing Wi-Fi. I don't know. But let's stick to business, because here's the corporate team. Back in 2020, Meghan and Harry had the big splashy Netflix deal. By 2025, that's been clipped to a first look deal, which means Netflix gets to cherry pick. No more guaranteed millions, no more free passes. Every project has to prove itself before they even think about greenlighting it, meaning money. But why? Because if your show can't even make the top 10, you're not carrying the platform. You're just taking up space. If your critics are calling your series tone deaf and painful, then Netflix has to spend more on PR and marketing than the show is worth. And we saw no marketing or PR whatsoever this time around. And if viewers are clicking out halfway through an episode, Netflix loses watch time and risks people canceling their subscriptions. And you and I, we made a pact. We weren't going to watch it, and we stopped at season 1, and we're done. We ghosted them. So yeah, we did not give them any numbers whatsoever. Now, Netflix didn't cut ties. They just put Meghan on probation. It's like when your boss says, we'll keep you around, but only if you prove yourself with every project. That's not trust, people. That's like a warning shot. So yes, Meghan continues to say the audience loves the show, but the market says no top 10, brutal reviews, your wine isn't selling, try again. That's the thing. Streaming is data-driven. If the love doesn't show up in the charts, it's not love. It's vibes. And she has been running her business on vibes of love and joy. But vibes don't pay the bill. And neither will Netflix if she continues this way. So what can you and I learn as content creators? You need to make sure that you name your audience. You know your audience. You can describe your audience in one sentence. And if you can't, then you don't have one. The next thing we can learn is to pick a lane. Aesthetic without authenticity is alienating, and we can see this in Meghan's business. The next thing is show the mess. Perfection is boring. Relatability lives in the flop. And again, Meghan shows us that everything she does is perfect. And the last thing is measure what matters, because if your product cannot even dent the top 10 at launch, you don't need more PR. You need a different product. So here we are, a Netflix downgrade, no top 10, and it's embarrassing. Not just from a PR angle, but from a business one. And if you're building your own channel or brand, let this be a reminder: clarity beats curation, proof beats press, and substance beats sprinkles. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.